there's so much beheading in this, and yet people want to talk about my penis. And I think that says something about our society where people can get disemboweled, but it's the man's junk that is of interest.
To be honest, to film in Scotland from August to November and see those seasons change, and see like the heather across the mountains, and then and then work up in the Highlands, and then be on the beaches.
Were we on?
45 apparently.
45.
Really? Chris bought us all T-shirts, and it's on the back of the T-shirt, and you're like, bloody hell. Yeah, there was, and it's
like the tour.
Yeah, the tour. It was a rocks. It was pretty cool. But yeah,
nice.
we filmed in Glasgow Cathedral. It was actually, we were shooting in the bowels of Glasgow Cathedral, where the scene that we were shooting would have taken place 700 odd years ago, which will definitely bring, hairs in the back of your neck. But yeah, shooting around Scotland, I think moments just like standing in the hill and you'd see a film crew, and then you would just turn away and you'd look that way and go, that view was there 700 years ago. What I'm looking at right now, and then you look down at yourself and you look at your comrades and you'd be like, whoa, okay, the shit's got real. But very much so, and also the battle sequences were very, very, there was no acting required, as it were. It was just very, very brutal, and some of the scenes in the final battle sequences, yeah, there were horses rearing up and falling next to you, and you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't in the rehearsal. But yeah, it was very sort of, you had to stay on your toes all times, I guess.
Absolutely, I think it was a necessity that we all knew how to be equipped with a weapon and ride a horse professionally. I mean, these guys, that's all they did it all day long, and we had a couple months to look like professionals, ride one-handed and swing a sword above our head, and then have heavy chainmail on top. So, I mean, it was very an intense sort of boot camp time.
You guys all really bonded, though. I was, as a director, I was quite jealous of you guys all on horses, looking like you were having a good time.
It was all very surface level, though, David. I don't think there was.
It was slightly problematic, though, playing, on the English side. At the boot camp, everyone else was on the Scottish side, so I had to, on one level, be friends, and then on the other level, kind of go.
You were always leading us. We always followed you. It was all, you did all the Scots. Go, let's go. Just go to Billy. Let's go with Billy tonight.
Doing what I do best. Yeah.
I have to say, no animals were hurt, by the way. Although it wasn't mainly
only
actors. It wasn't in the rehearsal. It was, probably actors might
only
be
actors.
The horse team, although it looks like it's very brutal to the animals, it was very, very controlled and coordinated.
And Chris, a lot of people on Twitter are talking about you have a full frontal scene in this movie. How does one gear up for a day like that on set?
Well, it was very cold, I remember, and it was on the side of a major highway, so not exactly the elements I would choose myself. I'd choose some sort of hot tub in Bali, but and less men probably. I wouldn't obviously do it if I didn't feel it was important, but what I in the early discussions, and not to make this too fucking existential about my, full frontal, but David and I talked about, underneath the Emperor's clothes is a mewling, puking little kid who was once upon a time just rolling around in the mud, and a child, and the idea that underneath every prime minister and president and ruling leader that we give power to is someone that is just an animal. And if you stripped all of that bullshit aside, they would be hunting and gathering and fornicating and pooping, and I know that sounds funny, but like really we are just base animals. And I thought it was very important to see this man who's going to have power be an animal. And anyway, and there's the full frontal of it.